Howdy partners, and welcome to the 2023 Waco Annual Charity Open, Round 2 Back 9 coverage, presented by Prodigy. This is the second stop of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We are playing at Brazos Park, and my name is Holly Finley.
And I'm Connor O'Reilly. And today, for this back 9, we're going to start off on the final 3 wooded holes out of the 9 wooded holes here on this beautifully dichotomous course. Then we'll get back into the open, the holes that can really shake things up. So we saw a lot of spectators today. It was really awesome. Gave us that great feel as players just to make us focus up a little bit extra. And here we have hole 10, a power wooded par 4 with a beautiful grassy fairway. Pretty generous landing zone here. You want to really push this one straight. Ideally you fly just right of this tree like the drone did, leaving you maybe a putter into the green. The key about the approach here is to land it circle's edge short and slide it up, because if you land at the basket you're most likely going down into some pretty tricky split stance putts down in the trees.
Shue up first. She takes the right gap. It's a bit low, but I think that's a great shot. It's birdieable from there if you have a good up. Oh, I like the power on that. Ooh. Oh, twiggled.
Just catches those hangers.
That was rude. Vincent up third.
At least now we're starting to get some leaves on the trees so you can see those branches now, and they're not as invisible as they can be when everything's just brown.
That longhorn lands in a good position. It's not too left.
Sai with the short run-up just shows how much power she has, getting that disc way out there.
Ballista
well past her competitors.
All the way to the cameraman. Yeah, I played with her at a couple of those ball golf style courses, and she was, 50 to 75 feet past the rest of the card. Anakin hits a tree, ends up on the right side of the fairway.
Yeah, I never knew much about Sai's game, so it's fun to get to watch her right now. Paige gets a fortunate tree action. She's really flashing those rings on us, you guys. It's getting a little bit annoying right now.
Oh, I love to see it. That's a good upshot. That's a birdie. That's a birdie putt. Right, Vincent's got a choice to take that straight tunnel or take it around the outside.
A little soft there.
Yep, she'll have a putt at it. I'd like to be a little closer.
And Sai pushes this one all the way up to maybe 120 feet.
It's one of the best drives I've ever seen on this hole, even though it is slightly off to the left.
Looks like a harp in her hands.
It sure is.
And that one's going to be a tester putt. Let's see if she's able to cash it. Anakin showing no fear there.
Now there is that hill behind the basket. Hopefully it didn't scoot too far back. Sai doesn't connect with that one.
Yeah, this green can just make you hold back just a touch.
Oh, and it did get away from her. It's a pretty meaty comeback. Little right side. Does not connect on that one. That's the danger of going past this basket.
Paige having to split those trees, it looked like, and awkward stance for her on that side slope. Normally a range that she cashes 8, 9 out of 10 times.
Oof, good par putt from Sai. I was hoping she could get the birdie, seeing as how long that drive was, but that's all right.
Yeah, sometimes on this hole it's just key to, instead of driving it so far, play a disc you know is going to finish straight, because you're most likely going to have some kind of shot into the green and not have to give yourself a cutoff angle. Unfortunate double there. After the clean front for Anakin, she, I won't say that, I don't know how that feels, because I may or may not have taken the same score on that hole today.
Oh no, let's check out hole 11, 279 feet, a par 3. It's another tunnel shot. The mistakes here is really not hitting the tunnel, letting it go early left. A lot of discs collect right about here on the left. It's also easy to crank it to right. You can also throw it too high. Personally, I like to come in right about short of the basket on this hill, slide up to it, or maybe land a little left. I prefer to be downstairs versus upstairs on the right side. I do not want that death putt. Shue up first.
Ooh, and then, yeah, there's that one middle tree, the one to the left of the one that Paige hit, that you really got to make a decision. Do I want to land left or right of that? And like Holly said, I think that left side is ideal as long as your disc is flat.
Vincent sends an alpha up to the perfect position. She'll be putting from birdie.
This one looks textbook, and we have a chance to get up to the top here. Wow, that's going to be a tricky spot, but that was a strong throw. Maybe a fairway driver out of side. She could probably bump down to the mid, honestly. Anakin throwing us that beautiful flip to flat line again.
That escape that she threw on the other hole when we loved that
same
shot shaping.
Yeah, keep throwing that one, Anakin.
She told me she loves to shot shape with that, and hyzer flips are her favorite.
Oh no.
And that is not what we're looking for, but you know, we haven't seen a lot of mistakes out of Shue, and the ones we have seen, the course redirected them for her.
Course there.
Yeah, she did. It giveth and it taketh.
She understands the balance of power, and she's now going to get some more good kicks for the rest of the tournament. So
did you see how she just laid it up? She's like, you know what, I'm just going to lay that up on and move on. A lot of times you can get greedy, try to make up for that mistake, end up in more trouble.
Yeah, frustration a lot of times leads us to reaching a little more than we need to.
And Vincent does not connect on that birdie putt, and unfortunately rolls pretty far away. Now she'll have an even more obstructed putt than she did the first time, and maybe a bit longer. Vincent for par. And she hits it the same way as she does and rolls back to her first lie.
This green can be a nightmare at times, you guys.
And she understands what we just discussed, where, you know, you kind of just take your medicine, pitch it up, drop it in, and move on. I have a personal rule where I get 2 chances to make the putt. After that, I'm laying it up. You don't want to do the back and forth. The back and forth, that's bad news. Vincent taking a double here. Very unfortunate from bogey to double. I know about the birdogie, but I don't know what you call a double-dogie.
Yeah, that's you call that seeing red is what you call that.
Yeah. Oof. You're telling me.
No birdies yet so far on the back. Let's see if we can get one on the par 5 12th. Our final wooded hole is a 609-foot par 5 playing up off this shelf, bending left to right down into this bowl where you have about 200, 300 feet of space until you hit another upslope, bending to the right here. Basket perched back on the same flat that our tee is on. This one is a memorable hole and one that you must be in the fairway. to advance at all times, so you really got to choose wisely off the tee and maybe choose a slower disc to avoid too much ground play.
Sai up first. Looks like she got caught up, drops into the middle of the fairway. Ooh, I'm curious to see a lefty throw this.
Yeah, this holds big advantage to a lefty.
Get clean, and it doesn't, but it looks like it might be in the fairway, so, you know, that's a bonus. Shue up with her roach.
Just
That's
a little
not
flat.
turning enough. Is it going to be in the fairway?
Wow.
And another Bush Champ Love. I just don't even know what
She
to believe
restored the
anymore.
balance on the last one. She understands these woods.
We've seen Vincent lean on this Stingray. Plenty of turnovers on the other holes. She doesn't quite hold that angle long enough, and it finishes left.
Very tricky. Sai catches her elbow on the tree, and hopefully she's okay. That shows some grit right there. I do not enjoy throwing those shots myself, and will almost always try to throw some kind of forehand in sacrifice distance. Wow, that was showing just the competitive spirit that she has.
Said she's fine, so just muscling through it. What tree? She probably didn't even feel it. That tournament juice running through the veins.
Adrenaline is a real drug.
Shue with her second shot. That's looking good. You've got that typical collection and landing zone right about there, maybe a little bit higher up on the hill, but that'll be fine even for birdie from there.
Maybe some kind of lean out forehand flex, but she doesn't have more than 100 feet to the basket.
It's easy to get greedy on this hole and just try to get really far and end up in a horrible position. Stephanie is a very seasoned player, and you'll see her a lot of times choose more course management instead of, greedy shots, if you will.
And Sai going back to that felon flex over. See, I don't quite understand it in that situation. You really would rather the disc burn out to the right when you get up top than fade off left. Maybe she'll make that adjustment next time.
Let's see if Steph can get over the hill. I'd like to see some more height on that, but, that's usable. I was hoping she could crest up over to the green and maybe get a putt at it.
Anakin jumping up to try to see the top of the basket there.
This is one of those holes that can be a bit daunting, but if you chop it up into pieces, it really isn't that difficult.
This one looks good.
Yes, it does.
And yeah, she looks to be just outside the bullseye there. Able to scramble for her par after unfortunate tee shot, and Sai chipping up to the top. Honestly, with the putting strength she's shown, she's going to probably give that one a run. Paige with that turnover forehand. Looks like a zone, maybe baseline plastic. I'm going to have that tree forcing her maybe to lean out one way or another. Let's see if that affects her putt.
Ooh, that works out great for Vincent. She practically has a drop in. Yeah, you said it, Connor. I think she's going for it.
She just standstills from here. She's getting some power that I don't quite understand. That's impressive.
It's a spin.
Yeah. She's really hinging that elbow and using almost like a little small throw, but very controlled. And great putt for Paige, leaning to the left of that branch and just putting a little nose down dropper in there. I like that color scheme Paige has with the black and white.
Me too. Steen with a par here on the 12th. Shue getting a birdie. Vincent getting a par. She just chopped it up into pieces and walked away with a par.
And yeah, I think Sai kind of forced the wrong disc selection on that approach. Maybe could have saved a stroke there, maybe even two.
Hole 13, 555 feet. You have this Mando. You can see it indicated by the white sign on the tree. It's a par 4. Send a drive as far as you can. Make sure you choose the disc correctly because you do have that out of bounds road on the right. Hopefully you'll just hyzer in Anywhere in the field, give yourself a birdie upshot. This is a super easy 3 to get as long as you make it past the Mando. Just have to have a good shot and a good upshot. Let's see how far Paige Shue can send it. She's got some really powerful drives lately.
A bit high, maybe thinking that left to right wind was going to affect her more than it actually did, and it was kind of tricky to tell if it was more left to right head, left to right tail, at least when I played the hole.
Steen hits the gap,
Ooh,
but it's tracking towards the road, and that is out of bounds. I was curious what she would throw here, being a lefty.
Yeah, there are a couple skinny gaps on the left. You'll see players, right-hand players, take rollers or forehands through, so interesting to see her not take that wide hyzer.
Yes, like exactly. That's what I was going to say. Stephanie's shot looks great. She's safe in the fairway.
Look for side up and a move on this one. Gets it out flat, beats the gap. Sigh of relief as she knows she will have a birdie opportunity over there. Sigh of relief, get it?
Oh, that was so good.
Sometimes it just falls in your lap, you guys.
Right, Annika now throwing her third shot into
Beat
the green.
The branch.
I mean, it's a putt. It's a long one.
Yeah, this one, just like 16, the more left you can be, you kind of have more ceiling coming into the green.
Vincent sending a wraith up there, and she gets right on the circle's edge. She'll have a putt for birdie.
Paige going for that hyzer. Seems to have pulled it a bit wide. She's going to need some skip here. And nice little curl up. That one ended up being scary, but she's going to have a very makeable putt there. Probably a headwind look, though, so let's see how she manages. Sai puts a bit more hyzer on this one and comes in nicely.
Great upshots. Got a lot of spectators around this basket today. A little bit more pressure on the putt.
Anakin gives it a soft one, hoping maybe that crosswind will lift it up in there. And yeah, not a bad par from out of position.
Vincent for birdie. Does not connect.
Or sorry, that'll be a bogey for Anakin with that out of bounds.
And Shue also unable to connect her birdie putt. This is a windy green, but also just having the added spectators around when we didn't have them in the woods can be a little bit added layer of pressure. Vincent connects for her par putt.
No doubt, not only do you come to the Open where you got to start choosing your comfortable lines and dealing with the wind, but now you lose kind of that intimate feel of just you and your card that you get in the woods.
Sigh, giving a wave of appreciation to all the claps as she gets her sweet birdie putt to drop in. It's good to see Sigh get a birdie after a bogey on the previous hole. It's a good bounce back.
And Anakin working her way back down a little bit. She's going to be looking to clean it up and finish strong on these last 5. Hole 14 straight through the triple mandatory. Another hole that had 2 new baby trees planted with the mulch piles. It really kind of made this one more of a pure backhand shot. The forehand still is there. We'll most likely see that straight left-hand shot out of Anakin. Maybe that escape again depending on the wind. And at 303 feet, this one's definitely in the range for everyone in the FPO field. It's just a matter of beating those last 2 trees and making sure to give it enough airspace. This grass will really gather you if you don't get it there. And this flex line to the right is definitely there, and Sai parks it. That is
Bullseye.
Run it back, you guys. Shout out to Flight Factory taking the line that I forgot to even mention to you guys and showing us that there's options when you're playing in the Open.
Sai throwing the long bowman on this tee shot.
Ooh. Just testing that last tree.
She'll have a circle's edge putt for birdie.
Yeah. Work for your girl.
Steph's alpha getting way down there in the circle. She'll be putting behind that boulder. She'll have a birdie look at it.
Ooh, just wide for Anakin.
Oh, and the new trees, you can see you have the mulch around them, doing their job, making the hole that much more difficult.
Yeah, today's wind much easier for the right-hand backhand than the left-hand backhand. You can play the top of the disc against the wind as a right-hand player, whereas Anakin kind of had to expose the disc or really just hit a perfect angle to get up there. Page through a nice line, but just caught the last tree to beat.
It doesn't connect on the birdie putt. I'm checking out Paige's shirt. It looks like she might have a new logo on the front. Nice par putt from Steen.
Yeah, it's a good one to pick up. She definitely left a bit more work than she'd want for par on a hole that she's expecting to give herself a birdie look on.
Steph for birdie. Ooh, she connects. Very nice. Now that was a strong putt.
And Sai tapping in that birdie, doing
Isn't
that
that
the easy way.
The second one we've seen where she gets to keep her bag on?
Yep, that's goals, y'all.
Shue getting a par here on the 14th. Wow, it's going to get windier here on the 15th.
Yeah, you guys, these last 4 holes, 3 of the 4 of them can be treacherous.
Air Spectrum is Prodigy's new line of premium lightweight discs in the mid-range, fairway, and distance driver models. You can now get beautiful bursts of color no matter your preferred weight. Bag one today at prodigydisc.com.
Hole 15, par 4, 558 feet. It's OB everywhere. It's wind everywhere. This hole can really psych you out if you let it. You just have to choose the disc correctly for the wind. You know, there's no shame in just doing a layup shot off the tee, maybe playing for par. If you're feeling aggressive, you can do a backhand shot, tailwind, maybe try to land in bounds, but the most common error here is really just hyzering left or turning your disc over the fence. Sai up first. It's going left. It's going to left. And I mean, you know, we see it over and over again. And that's why I like the sort of just more of a layup, shorter shot, maybe a bit safer. Vincent just sending it right over the fence. And that is looking out of bounds on the sidewalk. All right, Shue's got a bit more of a turnover shot. I liked that.
Great angle there, forcing over a disc that she knows is going to fight back late and making sure to keep it low. That's really the key on this hole. You do not want to miss high.
Yeah, try to keep it no higher than the fence if you can.
Good trust in that angle and that disc right there for Anakin and putting up into a routine landing zone. This hole is just so exposed, I feel like. That's really the name of the game here. You feel exposed to the fans, to the wind, to the out of bounds, and it's just different than any hole you play.
So Stephanie marking her disc where they decide it's gone out of bounds, so she's throwing her third. Because Sai went out of bounds into the road, she's also throwing her third.
Oh, just wide.
That's just unfortunate. And this is Stephanie's disc, and it went over the sidewalk, and now it's in the grass. Safe?
Would it be in this play or?
It's safe.
No, I can't. Yeah, taken
it's
a lot,
because
and I didn't call it provisional. So
Yeah.
And she's already thrown.
We
could
could,
ask afterwards because I can't play it.
yeah, you can't play it, so it would be a rules call, not a play call. So how would we like declare a provisional from here?
I can't.
I feel the stress right now
Call
myself.
it provisional. No, I've already.
No.
Yeah.
If you're filming, always call it provisional. You'll be stuck like this.
Yeah, so she did not take the time to walk up, nor did she say provisional. This is Robert Leonard, a rules official.
So I take it from the drive.
throw, not a misplay. You have to complete the whole for it to be a misplay.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
No, there is a one throw misplay.
Yes.
This is not an abandoned shot situation.
Okay.
This is a
We got all of our top dogs out here helping us
TD,
make a calling.
throw. Maybe easier way to think of it is how many
TD,
new
tour
tour
assistant.
coordinator,
So then you're throwing from inbound where you landed, but with
So
So
one
you're
throw-
on-course commentator.
That one
Right.
is, yeah.
Your extra shot is disregarded.
Yep.
Right? And then you have a one throw penalty, which is 2, and now you proceed to the correct live throwing 3. You're throwing your third shot.
Just for
Okay, so playing from the correct lie with a one throw penalty for the misplay.
good play.
I believe that's the ruling there, and here we have Anakin looking to play another hyzer out to the left, trust it to come back.
So you always have the option to abandon a throw. You must say it out loud, declare that you're abandoning the throw, which is what I believe that she did there. Yeah, that's smart rules. Always say provisional if you're not sure where the disc landed. And Shue had a great drive, and she sends her upshot right under the basket. And I'm going to tell y'all, I think this is the windiest green on the course.
It is, and I feel like with it being exposed to the sun, the grass plays a little faster than a lot of the other greens, so it seems like the ground play happens just a bit more on this green. You think you're coming in with that close 20-footer, all of a sudden you have a 28-footer left, and it can be tricky. Sai coming into that left to right wind and catches a lot of chains, just barely left there.
This is not a long putt, but it's just so windy here. Ah, Steen with the birdie. That's such a good birdie. I'm jealous of that 3 on hole 15.
Makes 2 of us.
Sai, too. Gave her the knucks. And, you know, for that, a little mishap, I'd say a bogey isn't too bad to walk away with, you know, on the 15th for Vincent. And Paige, she had a great drive. We saw her do the backhand that went really far, landed safe, and she got herself a birdie from it.
Yeah, 15, not a lot of resistance for a left-hand hyzer as long as you hit your angle right, so not a bad hole to be a lefty. And another triple mandatory here on the 16th, but it doesn't really come into play as much because it's right off the tee. 609-foot par 4. We have a couple new planted trees that you'll have to navigate in the middle here. Out of bounds path on the right, as well as the parking lot on the left is out of bounds. And the path wraps around all the way to the back. Really just looking to hit a good angle off the tee, something that will give you some distance. Ideally you get a little bit left off the tee to open up your ceiling into the green. And definitely a hole these players are looking to give themselves a circle 1 birdie look on. That one needs to beat the trees, and it does.
We had a massive tailwind on this hole today, so, you know, if you got a super understable or lightweight disc, it's easy to send it up into the sky and let it go. Otherwise, it's going to get smacked down. Maybe your drive doesn't quite go as far as it did the previous day.
Yeah, there's times, like you said, when you can use that understable disc or lightweight something to ride the tailwind, but a lot of times tailwind can kind of deplete your distance if you don't really get it up and get it turned.
Hopefully Sai can have some type of shot that's kind of annoying to land on that little skinny tree and the mulch.
Yeah, we'll see if she busts that standstill out that she has a couple times already or not.
It's powerful. Vincent's shot's a little low with that tailwind. You know, it wouldn't hurt to put a little more air underneath it, but There is that fence OB right, so I understand not wanting to air it out too much. Steen will have a birdie putt at it if you're feeling aggressive.
So it looks to be a bit too hyzery and gonna be a long bid. Tailwind though, so you can give it a soft bid if you'd like to, and it should drop. Paige hoping for some ground action here, and she's gonna get some. Right to left wind to deal with there, so let's see how much it affects her putting angle. There's that standstill with the felon. And this is a definitely good choice for a felon here. Hang it out, let it skip back. Curl up just outside the bullseye for a headwind putt.
Steen not giving that a real run. I feel like she's just aiming for the tower. Shue for bird. Doesn't connect.
Just tricky enough with that wind angle to cause some second guessing maybe. And good birdie for Sai up into that headwind. Ananda just needed to get a little bit flatter on that approach shot, but it was a tricky window over the out of bounds sidewalk.
3 pars and a birdie.
We're about to hit that turn back into the headwind. Hole 17 and 18 are real out here, you guys.
17 par 4, 530. If you're not nervous, you're probably nervous now. This tee shot is demanding. You need to pick your landing zone and commit to it. If you throw too far, you can go OB that parking lot. Also, it's OB right. Your second shot, possibly a layup to those boulders, or an aggressive sidearm or backhand somewhere into this grassy fairway. Hopefully you're pitching up and you're going to get yourself a par. I mean, you don't see a lot of birdies here from the females, and when you do, you know, they're pretty incredible. I can only think of 3 in my mind all the years that I've played here.
Yeah, there's just a couple key hot spots you really have to be in order to birdie, and if you can get down right of those trees that Sai just flew into and somehow land safe, then that's the ideal position to be able to attack.
I've seen the straight shot and then the turnover route. Shue ends up in a good position here on the top of the hill. I do like the height advantage landing up there.
Another great hole to be a left-handed player on. Coming down the stretch out here at Waco, it kind of takes a little bit of stress off of hole 15 and 17. And if you're a lefty, get out here to Waco.
That is cutting right a little early. It is out of bounds over there, so I'm not sure if they are in. Hopefully they are. Look at this. This lines up so great for her.
Really does. Don't have to mess with the forehand in that awkward crosswind.
Oh my
if she
gosh.
puts it up there. 15-footer, 18-footer.
Man, I hope she makes that and I can just put my foot in my mouth about not seeing that many threes here. Shue with a very committed turnover line. I just love the commitment you have to send a disc out towards the water knowing it's going to turn over. Man, those are 2 great shots.
Something to note about the wind drawing off the left shoulder here on this approach is it really only affects the first half of this flight into the green or so, because we have a thick patch of trees across the water to the left that really blocks this wind during the second half of the flight, but it can make this one a hard read sometimes. You think you hung it wide enough to where the wind's going to blow it back, and then all of a sudden it just drops into that water.
Man, I'm so impressed with the way this card has played this hole thus far.
Yeah, this one gobbles out of bounds strokes from the field, so none yet, and in a position where I don't think we will see any.
I'd be scared sending my putter up that high on that green, but Sai, she is not, and she's up there putting for par.
Yeah, you come in soft and fade out towards that water. It comes in play quick.
Paige doesn't even want a taste of that putt, just pitches it up for par. Oh, I wanted it. I wanted it. I wanted it for Steen so bad.
And we know she did too. That one had a little bit of extra pressure. She played that hole so well.
Still impressive. Tapping in the par. You know, they made this hole look really easy. I'm telling you, the tee shot and the second shot are not that easy. These are pro golfers.
Yeah, and like we talked about yesterday, this course plays so well for the FPO field that 9 holes played within 1/10 of a stroke of par, and I think that's a sign of a good course design. The beautiful 18th was showing at south headwind today, making it play 0.3 strokes harder than day 1. Most players are looking to lay up a shot somewhere onto this flat spot here on the right. You really don't want to be up on that upslope towards the sidewalk. It can make the footing awkward. Some of the bigger arms, and maybe Anakin being a lefty, will try to go over across the pond off the tee, but I think that makes the approach angle kind of tricky. Usually you just want to land this one into that upslope right in front of the basket and slide up for a close putt, as this wind on the green can be very menacing.
Sai up first. She sends a super high spike hyzer, and it lands safely, getting a nice roll over to the flat area, which is more preferred than that hillside.
Quality roll down. And this looks nice and flat from Paige.
Woo, aggressive flare skip.
Whoa,
oh my
no.
goodness. See, that's what scares me. Oof.
That looked like a safer shot than size, and it ended up just lifting on that nose up flare skip.
Steen throwing a rive off the tee. It was a really good forehand from her.
Yeah, she hadn't busted out the power forehand much, and that one was clean.
Vincent sending the goat low and hyzered. I'm liking the look of that. Nothing wrong with that. Thought it might get a little bit of flare skip, but that grass just ate it up. This is another shot where the spectators are lined up on the sidewalk. Oh no, and Vincent's upshot just trickles down into the lake OB. A lot of times if you're trying to land it inside the circle, it's easy just to short it a bit. Sometimes players just mash on it really far just to get it safe over there and then pitch it up and play it for par.
Typically
Paige.
that overstable disc would swing back left with that crosswind, just holding Paige out to the right. It's going to be a scary putt. Anakin needs to get up, and she does. That is where the money spot to be. You do not want to be putting back at this water or in a right to left wind from the left side, or the right side, sorry.
Sai sending her gatekeeper into the green. And she'll have that scary putt right back at the water.
Even a putter of the prowess of Paige laying up here on the 18th. I think
Paige
it
has
being
a good round going.
She does.
I don't know if that was a layup or one of those like timid half bids.
It seemed like that timid bid, because judging by her body language, she was trying to run that. Unfortunate there.
Oh, good connection. Steph will get the bogey here on the 18th. Ooh.
Steen resets and cashes the birdie.
It's fun watching Steen play today. That's my first opportunity to see her skills. Very impressive.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching her and Sai. They both showed some great power and good mix of shots in their game.
Look at all the
caught me off guard.
spectators. Yeah.
No, you feel the eyes on this hole. It's really awesome to know that the crowd's out there waiting in this hole. You can really watch the action on 17, 15, 18. It's a good spot to be out here.
With those incredible rounds from Paige Shue and Annika Steen, they move up into the top 10. Paige in 5th, Annika in 6th. You can see Ella Hansen holding strong in 1st, and Kristen Tatar has dropped to 2nd. A couple of names you might not recognize, or maybe you do. Deanne Carey, she's changed sponsors this year, now playing for Lone Star Discs. Appreciate you guys tuning in to this round 2 back 9 coverage of the Waco Annual Charity Open. If you haven't checked out yesterday's coverage, go do that now. You probably don't have anything else to do, and you don't need to go to sleep. Watch some more disc golf. Also, if you want to check out my Tour Series disc at the Innova store, you can do that. It's a Star Glow It with an alien on it. Or you can find me on Instagram at OFinaleFinley.
And don't forget that tomorrow we have the whole lead card within 3 strokes, and a lot can happen out here, so stay tuned. It's anyone's game.